Hey folks, and welcome back to episode 2 of our Nioh 2 marathon. And before we delve into animations, I did want to touch on a very important aspect in the game, and that is skills. If you press the select button, you can change equipment, items, etc. But there is something here called learn skills, and once you open it, you will get this slightly overwhelming menu screen. But basically, what matters to you is a few things. The first one is the samurai one. It's more of a general skill tree. There's the shift link, which pertains to the yokai form. There's the Onmyo magic and ninjutsu. Those are shared across pretty much all characters. I'm not a big user of Onmyo magic or ninjutsu. I believe Onmyo Magic was the most powerful build end game for a while. I'm not sure if that's the case anymore. I haven't been keeping up with the game. But there are also trees for every weapon that you use, and as you can see, we have some skills in swords as well as Odachi. We will be focusing more on swords, so really the only two trees I will be focusing on throughout this playthrough are the samurai one and the sword one. Now, the Samurai one has probably the most important skill in the entire game, and it is running water, um, man, heaven, and earth. Because I use the metal stance for the most part, I will be starting off with the running water man, and basically what this does is that instead of pressing R1 at the end of a combo to do a key pulse, you can simply dodge to do that. And what this does is that it actually adds mobility, because when you have to press R1, that means you are wasting time, you are standing still, and you're putting yourself in a tough position. You're either going to get lucky and have the enemy not attack you, you will have to eat that attack, or you have to guard through that attack, which means you will be losing the key that you regain from a key pulse. What this does is that it gives you the ability to simply dodge backwards, for example, and still regain that key. And this is our first side mission. Side missions, for the most part, don't add much to the story. Some of them, very few of them, will unlock some features. Right off the bat, there's our buddy Tokichiro. We don't care much about him. He doesn't have anything important to say. What we want to do is aggro this guy here. Bait out the attack. And I just realized I am using Yodachi. And something important I just did, and that you will have to do for pretty much every human fight, that is abuse the stamina. Most human enemies, what they do is that they are very, very reckless with their stamina or their ki. So they will attack quite often, and at the end of their attack, there is a brief time, and what you want to do is abuse that time to just attack them once or twice to prevent their ki from recovering. And once their ki is fairly low, you can keep on the aggression and break them. And once you break them, you can attack them once to make them fall onto the ground, and once they are on the ground, you can do an execute move, and the execute move does a ton of damage. As you can see, whenever they guard your attack, they also use ki, so you can abuse that to your advantage. Well, not abuse that, you need to use that for your advantage. And I'm not sure if I remember how to do this mission exactly. I know there is a gauntlet somewhere. I think this is where we came from. see, it's fairly simple to fight these human enemies. Obviously, it gets more complicated when you fighting ones with more moves. Trying to remember where to go for this mission. You can obviously look at the minimap and it will give you a general direction of where you need to go for the mission. Is it this way? It is this way. Yep, so this mission is a gauntlet, or ends with a gauntlet. So once you step in, there will be a bunch of enemies that spawn. You can also destroy this thing. I'll be honest, I don't know what you get out of destroying it besides a Merida, which is experience. But I don't think it makes any difference as far as the combat goes. And the fight begins with fighting these three small demons. They are weak. But then this big guy. And because I'm using the strength yokai form, my counter burst is slow, so sometimes I will just miss the time. But the thing is, the reason I love the strength one is because the counter burst covers a bigger area. The agility one is a bit harder to land as far as hit detection goes. But the timing on the agility one is easier to land. I'm just gonna play a bit from behind. Oops. Or from a distance, just to recover my stamina. Definitely made it seem harder than it is. We are done with the side mission. And it's been a while since I've started a new game, so I'm not sure when the Soul Core attunement gets unlocked. But basically we are picking up these cores. And oh, we can actually just attune them right away. Okay, so when you attune a soul core, you begin with 2, but you unlock a 3rd one down the line, and it's basically RT and either Y, X, or later on the A button. And that's because the B button is reserved for the counter burst. But the horse one is pretty good. The one we unlocked right now is not terrible either. You can have up to the attunement limit. As you can see, each one has a cost. This one, where's the cost? Yeah, it's right before, above the video. It's got 8 cost. This one has got 5 cost. And that adds up to 13, but for some reason we're using 14. I think we're using 1 for something else. I don't know the exact details. But yeah, we will see how these things are used. They're very, very useful. And one of the ones that we will unlock soon-ish is a fantastic one that I use all the time. For now, let's manage our items a bit. gain some defense, and lower our equipment rate, or weight rather. I actually didn't check if we had any accessories.
こちらが13桜での仕入れの品になります。
悪くない輝き、なかなかの一品じゃ。
やはりお目が高い。さすが道産様。これからもごひいきに。霊石には少々鼻が利きます。
猿のくせに鼻も利くとはな。調子のいいやつめ。
いずれは私めも道産様のように仏の前で肉を食うほどの豪気さを身につけたく思うとります。
妙なおだて方をしよって。そこまで気負うなら新しい仕事があるぞ。
ぜひともこの猿、藤吉郎めにお任せあれ。
食うか
And there we get more insight into who Tokichiro is. He's kind of a goofy character with big aspirations, and that will play later into the game. And at the beginning of almost every level, there will be a shrine. You don't need to activate it because basically when you die, even if you haven't activated a shrine, basically you'll spawn right at the beginning. But activating a shrine gives Amrita, and basically activating the first shrine is pretty much free Amrita. So why not? And as per usual, we will be skipping the majority of these enemies. One enemy, or maybe one or two. This guy we definitely need to kill. I was hoping the other one would leave us alone, but he didn't. We'll just kill him. The reason we want to kill these two, so that we don't have to deal with them when it comes to fighting this little guy, or big guy, I guess. Before I do start the fight, I do want to point out the red graves. Every red grave is another player that has died in this area. Think of it as the ghosts and Souls-like and whatnot. The blue swords, or blue grave, it is an item dropped by another player to let you summon them with their equipment at the time that they drop the item, and they help you. That being said, they do cost 2 Ochoko cups per summon, and because they're kind of an easy way out of things, I will not be using them at all in this playthrough. Once you get close to the black mist, it will form into a yokai. This guy's soul core is one of my favorite ones, if not my favorite one in the game. And I've tried to disable the tips. Fortunately, I don't think it is possible. That being said, they do eventually go away, but for now, the tips are telling me to use the yokai abilities, and I don't need them just yet. And we did get the soul core, this enemy, which is fantastic. And I don't believe the enemy is mandatory. You can probably just skip past through it, but opening the door takes a bit of animation. Plus, it is the first chance to get that soul core, so I like to kill that enemy. And in here, once you speak to this NPC, Toyo, I think her name is, you will unlock the blacksmith once you finish this mission. And the blacksmith is a very vital part to this game. Not only will you be able to forge items, you will be able to sell items just in case you are low on gold. And later on, you can improve those items so that you can have an easier time to get to your build, as well as improve items that you already use to increase their item level and basically just go up in strength. And in here we will continue the ritual of skipping pretty much every enemy, because there is, well, I wouldn't say there is no point, but I'm trying to go for somewhat of a challenge run because the marathon is kind of long for Nioh 2. There are a ton of missions, and since I already know the game, I figured, hey, why not just add some restraint to the grind. But once you get here, if you knock down this ladder, you will be unlocking a shortcut, and inside that is where the boss is, but you cannot get to the boss just yet. You need a key to that door, and you get the key by going up this ladder, going all the way back here, going up this ladder, go to the left, careful for that archer, you come here and you drop down. And as I mentioned before, the big yellow drops are key items. And we open the door to the boss of this mission. Alright, Enenra. A very cool boss, if you ask me. And I might die to it the first attempt, just because I'll probably make some mistakes, and not only am I on the level. There we go. I did mistime that. But, besides the fact that I am under-leveled, as you can see on the top left, once I pick up my Guardian Spirit, there is a gauge that goes from the bottom to the top. And if you remember, I did use it on the boss of the first mission. And once that gauge is full, we can use our yokai form. So in this fight, I do not have my yokai. Basically, the boss will do this move and teleport. Once he teleports, he will do a side kick. He can fake out the reset and then do another side kick, so you need to be careful. And he shoots out these tornadoes. just avoid them, they're not really difficult. The little orbs on the ground, they will explode after a second, so try not to be too close to them. That actually works. And once his HP bar is red, that gives you the chance to go aggressive. Because right after that, oops, what I pressed. Right after that, he will go into the Yokai realm, which is chill. And bosses in the Yokai realms are more aggressive. As you can see, the combos are faster, the downtime between the attacks is lower. Picked up an elixir that dropped there. There are two ways to get rid of the Yokai realm, either to damage the boss enough to break the purple part, or to just wait it out. I haven't used a soul core skill just yet. I will try to use it during the next Yokai form phase. Try and make the Yokai realm phase a bit short if we get well, get the chance to attack him during the Yokai phase. As you can see, one of the weaknesses of the strength Yokai form is that if you don't time it perfectly, you run into the risk of getting hit by an attack. But at the same time, but at the same time, you will not flinch. So you will still get the counter burst. Okay. Pretty decent attempt compared to how many mistakes I made. But we will pick it up when we are about to kill the boss, because we've pretty much seen all the moves that he has to offer. Alright, and since we did get a couple of dents on it, we actually got our Yokai form, which, as you can see, makes the fight so much easier. So we are done with this boss and this mission. Yokai form is kind of a free get out of jail card if you have it. And once the dialogue is complete, finally finish the mission.
けって詳しい話はここを離れてからだ。おっと腹ごしらえでもしながらでどうだ。というわけでこいつは敵じゃないってことだ。
で、あやかしまで引き連れて何がしたいの？
俺はな、大空に輝くでっかいお天道様になるんだ。
とんだ山しね。
要は誰にも負けんほど偉くなってやるってことだ。
私は一匹でも多くあやかしを借りたい。それだけ。
ちょっと待て。仲間になるのが嫌ならここは藤吉郎流。
どいて。
銭を払う。雇われてくれ。
こんなはした金で？
え？
とんだ勘違いね。今度会ったらあいつは殺すから。
おいちょっと。
Right, we got the Enenra Soul Core, not a big fan of it. And we also unlocked a bunch of dojo missions. We unlocked this side mission, this main mission, and this other side mission. And this side mission requires us to bond with a Scampus at least one time. And Scampuses are these cats that we find in missions. And fortunately, I have skipped all of them because I've been going through the game extremely quickly. Let's level up, and I want to get these up by a little bit because some items will require them for their special effects. Save our game, and next episode we will do the side missions. I'll probably do this campus off screen and just include a video of where it is. But thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.